Alrighty guys, we're back for Rotation Proof Goblins, and this is an Outlaws at Thunder Junction standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. But first things first, this was a suggestion over in the Discord, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. Rotation Proof, what? Rotation's happening? That's right, we're losing Midnight Hunt, Crimson Vow, Neon Dynasty, and Streets of New Capenna. So the list has none of those cards in it. Oh, what did I opt for? Well, I got 4 Cacophony Scamps in here, 4 Exuberant Fuselings, and fitting an oil theme, we have 4 Free from Flesh as well. That's a 1-mana instant speed. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and then you also put 2 oil counters on it. Those oil counters could go the extra mile with cards like Exuberant Fuseling, which gets +1/+0 for each oil counter on it. When it ETBs, it gets an oil counter, and then also whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you put an oil counter on Exuberant Fuseling as well. And that leads me back to the Scamp, which of course helps us proliferate onto everything too. Cool. So we have a great train heist in here. Hopefully we can see this do a thing today. Got all 4 Monstrous Rage. Heck yeah. We got 4 Reckless Lackeys as well. So 1 mana, 1/2 with First Strike and Haste. Not half bad. And then also for 2 and a red, you can sacrifice this, draw a card, and create a treasure token. There's a lot packed onto this little guy, and I'll tell you what, when we have cards like Monstrous Rage and Free from Flesh packed in here, that First Strike goes the extra mile. Fitting a bit of an oil theme, we have a couple Vindictive Flamestokers. 1 mana, 1/2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Vindictive Flamestoker. For a 6 and a red, sacrifice Flamestoker, discard your hand, draw 4 cards, but the ability costs 1 less to activate for each oil counter on Vindictive Flamestoker, which should be pretty good overall, whether you're giving it an extra couple oil counters from Free from Flesh, or just like casting out your other instants and sorceries, which we do have quite a few packed in here. Speaking of which, we do have all 4 lightning strikes. I know it's sad, but no play with fire. It is rotation proof. Play with fire is out of here, man. So we could also just play with shock instead, but I think lightning strike's going to be a little bit better, especially for this list. More goblins packed in. We got all 4 Fugitive Codebreakers. Beautiful stuff. We got all 4 Rundvelt Hordemasters, of course, buffing our goblins, and then just potentially more ways to see more goblins off the top. Getting to the top end, we have a couple Squee, Dubious Monarch. It's going to be good. We got a couple Urabrask Forge as well. Fitting that oil theme, the only thing in here that lets us pack extra oil counters onto the Forge, outside of the Proliferate on Scamp, of course, it's actually going to be in our mana base, the Monumental Facade. It enters with 2 oil counters, and then you can tap it, remove an oil counter from the Facade, put an oil counter on target artifact or creature you control. Nice. And I only have 1 of them in here, because more often than not, we're going to want to do like 2 to 3 red things per turn, and so every now and then Facade's just going to hold us up, especially if we have 2 of them in here. In the very top end, Witchstalker Frenzy, just dealing 5 damage to something is going to be super duper important, and this is definitely the type of list that likes to swing with lots of creatures. In the honorable mentions, guys, there were a few different routes we could have taken with goblins to be rotation proof, and one of those routes was actually like the pirate artifact theme, so like Breaches and Krinko on the top end. That sounds really cool, and of course we can always revisit and try that out instead. And if we go for the whole pirate artifact theme, then of course Gleeful Demolition could also make the cut and help these goblins go wide. Now for the actual honorable mention for this specific list, right? This oily goblin list, this Churning Reservoir almost made the cut. I think it's actually a really neat card, like maybe a one of, maybe this could be the card to trade out, like Great Train Heist, for example, if you don't want to craft the Train Heist, since that's a rare, and Churning Reservoir is only an uncommon. Okay, let's go ahead, save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's take it into some ranked and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Dude, I think it's gonna do a thing. We'll see, we'll see. Like, I think mono red is just like one of those things. It's just so set up to be built in so many different ways. I think we're gonna be fine today. Like, this is a pretty good hand. Mono goes first. We'll keep this. I don't mind this at all. Swamp and Cult Conscript. Okay. Let's go ahead, get the Fuseling down and established. Lackey has haste, we could have swung, but I like getting Fuseling down since it doesn't have haste and then buffing it with the Hordemaster next turn. Forsaken Miner, can't block. Hopefully they swing with that Conscript. Another Forsaken Miner. They do not swing with the Conscript, unfortunately. It is a good block for them regardless here. So Hordemaster for the turn. We stay on task. If we actually get the other Fuseling... Hold up. That's a little better. If we get the other Fuseling down with the Lackey instead, then if they kill the first Fuseling, then it buffs the other Fuseling. And it's a trade too, so... Okay, everything about that is decent. And then next turn, if they don't block, then we buff a wide Goblin board state. Or we could get Squee down and keep the Hordemaster as a surprise, I suppose. Of course, the earlier we get the Forge on the board too, the better it gets. But up against Skellybellies? Skellybellies can be pretty fast. Opponent is thinking if the trade is worthwhile. I guess I'll go ahead and pause until the opponent shows up. Okay, the opponent did not show up. The timer ran down. Hopefully they're here. Oh, they played a swamp. The opponent has arrived. All right, I'll take that trade because I think we might be in danger, honestly. Well, maybe not. I'll take the 6. If we were in danger, they would have played their 3-drop for the turn that buffs all their skeletons, right? I think so. Facade's not bad. Everything in hand isn't bad, but I think it's Squee for the turn. Continue to go wide and then get that Hordemaster down next turn. And then we'll have Facade to buff one of the Fuselings as well. 4th mana comes down from the opponent. Go for the throat on the Squee, but we still have 4 Goblins on the board. Fuseling's getting a good buff here too. Go for the swing, down to 8. All right, hey, free from flesh. Dude. All right, technically though, it is anyone's game because they could have spot removal in hand right now. But they might not have spot removal in hand, huh? Let's see it. Let's see it. GG opponent. All right, dude. Also, hey, I overlooked this for this game. This is pretty important. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Get out of my way, victory screen. Monumental Facade's bottom ability is activate only as a sorcery. So just in case, because we didn't know what these 2 swamps could have been, we definitely wanted to play it out completely for the maximum amount of damage. We should have activated the Facade on the Fuseling that we didn't plan to buff with the Free from Flesh. For sure. It's a great draw, dude. Wow. Good stuff. I think we got a little lucky in that game, honestly. maybe not, though. Maybe that's just how it ends up curving out. Let's keep the ball rolling. Yeah, the Fuseling is like one of those 1-drops. Like, there's so many 1-drops in Standard right now, though. Like, you know, if you're not rocking Monastery Swift Spear with Kamano Faces Kakazan, if you're not rocking those, then it's a little silly. But there's still, like, so many really cool 1-drops that can be plugged into mono red. We do see Scamp every now and then. Scamp pops up in, like, I don't even know, some Gruul lists, some Rakdos lists. I don't know what to call them right now, though. Yeah, this is a good hand. I like it. Start with our Goblins. Ooh. With Scamp number 2, I wonder if we change... No. I stick to the Goblins for now. I was going to say, we go Flamestoker number 1 and then 2 Scamps on turn 2. I don't know. I don't know about that. It depends because we have to do maximum amount of damage with this Monstrous Rage as well. So if we go Hordemaster, this would be a pretty good trade for us. Hordemaster for the turn. See if they trade. If they do, it's totally fine. If they don't, we can trade anyways. But I don't think we will. So I guess they would consider, like, do we just want to take... Well, either way then, they'd be taking 2. So I guess that depends. Was that actually a bad block? Since they didn't know what we were going to do, I guess getting the Scamp off the board, they made that their decision. Okay, Codebreaker off the Hordemaster, by the way. That's pretty darn good. Disguise it? Nah. Let's get that swing for the turn. We also have that Monstrous Rage too with the Free from Flesh, which I'd rather plug onto the Scamp, but there's no guarantee that we actually will be able to do that. 3 steps ahead, huh? All right, let's take the turn to establish the Scamp then. I'd like to get this Flamestoker down, but we have so many Goblin synergies in hand right now, and on the board for that matter. 4th mana from the opponent. This is going to be a synthesizer build, I can only imagine. Ill-timed explosion. Oh no. Losing the other Scamp is pretty bad because that's a lot of our explosive power. So hopefully we hit some Goblins. Okay, Fuseling and a land. I wouldn't have minded seeing that land, honestly. Fuseling doesn't have haste, but Codebreaker does. Spend all of our mana, get this out, get the opponent a little bit lower. Our hand is good, man. One is down to 13. Synthesizer. All right. Scry 2. We might have a turn here to really pop off. Ooh. Mountain. Start with the Flamestoker. We have everything in hand. We can play everything out instant speed too. So we'll start with the Monstrous Rage, see what happens. Because they still have 1 mana over here. Free from Flesh, see what happens. On the Fuseling for sure. And Monstrous Rage. I think it's a GG, guys. It is. Because if it was like a Fading Hope, they would have done something. Holy cow, dude. That was sick. Good stuff. See, they took the turn to establish the synthesizer, not knowing how much explosive damage we actually had in hand. Luckily, this Restless Spire wasn't anything. Cool, man. Holy cow. That's, it's doing a thing so far. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. Yeah, the Free from Flesh just kind of acting as extra combat trick, but then like extra super bonus combat trick with the Fuseling. It's just kind of cool, right? And of course, it's a pretty good bonus on the Flamestoker as well. Oh, only 1 mana, but we can play most things. We go first. I'm gonna keep this. I think there's a pretty good chance of seeing mana off the top in the next couple turns. All right, let's get that Scamp down. Okay. So not seeing mana isn't the end of the world. Probably Fuseling for the turn. Let's get that swing with the Scamp. Establish the Fuseling. Oh, decline. Get that Fuseling down. Yeah, now's the time when we want to start seeing our second mana. Like next turn, having 3 turns in a row at only 1 mana, that's probably too much of a loss. But I think we're fine. Free from Flesh. Uh-oh. And remember, this could have easily been a mulligan. All right, let's get that swing, see what happens. Lots of combat tricks in hand. They want to trade Fuseling, we go Free from Flesh. They want to trade Scamp, we go Monstrous Rage. They might just take it. All right, it's a Monstrous Rage turn. Let's do it. Extra damage poking through. I'll tell you what. Should we do this? 11? No, not yet. Not yet. I know it's not going to be at 4 power after the fact, but just keeping the Scamp on the board seems a little bit more important to me right now. Ossification, take the Scamp. Uh-oh. See, it would have just taken the Fuseling, though. Uh-oh. That's not a second mana. Oh, dear. Well, we swing. They're probably thinking, it can't be another Monstrous Rage. No, they're gonna let this go through. All right, Free from Flesh. It's good damage. It is, but lifelink on that Naturalist. Gonna start pulling them back, especially if they get another lifelink creature down or anything that buffs the Naturalist as well. So Calyx. Speaking of rotation, dude, Selesnya enchantments just getting obliterated after rotation. I'm gonna miss it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know it can be frustrating to go up against sometimes, especially when there was like moments throughout its lifespan where like just everyone and their grandmother was playing Selesnya enchantments. But like overall, no. It's just it's kind of nice just to have like these decks floating about that you go up against and you're like, you know exactly what to expect, and so you can plan around the puzzle. Unfortunately, guys, we are not seeing the mana. Let's start with that swing. They did buff the Naturalist way too high for us to keep up with that lifelink. They're gonna attempt the trade. We go Free from Flesh, and we're pretty much out of this. We do get them back down to 10 though, really showing off the explosive side of the list that's packed in. Welcome. Plug it on the Naturalist. And full swing. Removal. Full swing. Brings us down to 6. Puts them back up to 17. Second mana. Let's go. Okay. So first of all, I definitely could have mulliganed. But I don't know, like, it kind of felt like a keepable hand. And honestly, I think it played well enough to say, yeah, it totally was a keepable hand. So Scamp Fuseling, swing. Having a hard time blocking this Naturalist either way. So maybe we just like, oh, we'd have to double block the, oh, no, we'd be fine. So if we like keep it back and they don't find removal, then they don't have to swing on the Naturalist. I guess they could just buff the Naturalist above the, above our blocks anyways, right? So Visitor, they get the draw and the welcome. Catilda, that doesn't buff the Naturalist. Okay. Okay, this is a great trade for us, man. We're taking 5 here. Opponent's going back up to, I don't even know, 24. We see one card off the top. Oh no! Oh, it's a lightning strike. So either way, Catilda's going to get in the air regardless. Monumental Facade. Interesting stuff, man. Very interesting. GG indeed, opponent. I'm going to go ahead and play it out, though, and I'll let you play it out as well. Get your swings in. We have a little Scamp buddy to play, and then we're going to go Facade onto the Fusing. And so far, like the deck totally feels like it's doing a thing. Like, I feel at any point, if we saw the second mana, we were still going to have a really hard time dealing with that Naturalist buff, because they buffed it really good, man. Being at a 6/4 lifelink, that's tough business. They go Visitor, buff wide, get that Hallowed Haunting onto the board. And another welcome as well. Oh my goodness. So no matter what, the Catilda gets in, but we do have some decent blocks on the ground here where we can double block to kill one of the Visitors, and then Scamp, when it dies, we would be able to kill the other visitor too. Yeah, good game, buddy. Yeah, let me know in the comments, are you guys going to miss Selesnya enchantments? It's like a pretty fun list to play too. Recently we did Naya enchantments, instead we splashed red into it. And that was really fun. Calyx is sticking around. Yeah, Calyx isn't rotating out. I don't believe. I think Calyx came out in Aftermath. Oops. What did I click? I clicked on something. Oh. Oh, the shop, the overpriced shop. I see. Hey, mid-video pack, Wilds of Eldraine. Let's see what we see here while we're here. What? Do I have everything in Wilds of Eldraine? Bro, what on earth? I don't even know right now. Maybe I do. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. Guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Main benefit of the Patreon is actually the patron suggestions. We just did a patron suggestion list yesterday, and it was a ton of fun. All right. Question mark? I like that we go first, but... Okay, we should mulligan. I'm gonna take a lesson from the last hand. Guys, send help? Oh no, down to 5, let's do it. Hey, there we go, okay. Alright, well, great train heist. I'm super paranoid about sending a mountain now. Witchstalker Frenzy, I guess. Sure. Establish... Fuseling? That the order? Is that the order I want to do it? See what the opponent's bringing to the table here. If we went Scamp, I don't know. That's tough. Flamestoker, that could help us restock our hand. Might just go for, well, let's start with the swing. Yeah, Free from Flesh is available, but I think we're going to need those extra oil counters on the Flamestoker, try to restock our hand that way. Guys, this is Selesnya enchantments. What on earth, bro? Alright, well, where do we want this Free from Flesh? I suppose wherever they end up blocking. Like, if they don't block, then Fuseling would be maximum damage, but on the Flamestoker would get that 3 closer to actually sacrificing to restock our hand. The opponent's thinking. Oh. Alright, we'll go for it. On the Flamestoker, that just puts a huge target on his back. Put us down to 14. We could proliferate. Alright, let's do it. This is funny, dude. Oh, man. Alright, let's poke the opponent's face. This is awesome, dude. Yeah, at any point... removal ruins the Flamestoker. Fuseling. Oh, Harmony. Dude, the roller coaster that I just went on. That's brutal, opponent. That's brutal. Oh no, mountain off the top. Guys. That was funny. So not only did we have to mulligan... had to mulligan down to 5. Well, we didn't have to, I guess. We could have kept that first hand. Yeah, for a second, I thought they were letting us keep that. Where is it? Ooh, Urabrask's Forge is actually a really good draw. Yeah, the Flamestoker, we had 4 counters on it, guys. So that would have only cost 3 mana. Sacrifice it, discard your hand, draw 4 cards. We would have completely restocked. Up against... there's no point in attacking there. Sorry, opponent. I didn't know I was holding you up, buddy. Yeah, up against Selesnya enchantments, even if we would have drawn 4, we would have had to been like going really, really fast. All right, Buried in the Garden. That's one we don't get to see too often. Okay. they're just playing it to buff their board. Oh, they didn't like our Urabrask's Forge. I see, I see. This is non-land permanent. And then it's ramp as well. Michiko's Reign of Truth. We're dead next turn. Reign of Truth. Reign of Truth. Oh my goodness. Send help, guys. I'm struggling with words. So that buffs everything. Oh yeah, we're super dead. Go ahead, play it out, opponent. Good game, buddy. That's brutal. All right, next game will not be Selesnya Enchantments. Right? Right, guys? If it's Selesnya Enchantments, then it's just the game heard me saying that I was going to miss it, and they're like, oh, well, here you go. Yeah, so far, not half bad. I'm staying by that. Like, I just feel like it just isn't playing out that bad. You know, it is going to be super strange not playing with Crucible of Defiance in every single build ever. That's going to be, that's got to be my most played card, just because, like, you know, it just takes the place of a mountain. And so in builds that don't care if you have mountains, it's just utility, a great utility. All those legendary lands. Yeah, speaking of missing stuff, what are you guys going to miss the most after rotation? Those legendary lands, I'm going to miss them a bit, but I guess I'm not going to miss, like, kind of being forced to put at least one in every list. You know what I mean? Forest from the opponent. Let's go Rundvelt Hordemaster #1. See what happens here. Get 2 through. Decline. Okay. Seeing that third is good. I think we just go Forge. Well, Hordemaster into Monstrous Rage would be really good too, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's actually disgusting. Since they don't have much open, I'm doing it. It's so much damage that I can't pass it up. And then we also get the Hordemaster ability twice here. We have a chance of seeing more goblins. Uh-oh. Oh, a couple free from Flash actually could have been pretty good. But the opponent's down to 4. This is their turn 3. We have Lightning Strike in hand as extra burn, so if they spend their turn removing one Hordemaster and they don't have something for the other one, get that one through, get that Lightning Strike through. Just a incredible turn. Good thing we saw that mountain, huh? Opponent is wondering what to do. We'll go ahead and pause until the opponent shows up. Okay, unfortunately the opponent did not show up. We're just going to take that swing, I suppose. I was going to play the Codebreaker too, but I suppose if they all of a sudden showed up for that last little bit, then I suppose it would have been better just to keep the Lightning Strike open. Well, I guess either way, just based on their mana base too. Yeah, they didn't show up and they ended up having to discard the Nissa at the end of the timer. Makes me a little sad. I mean, it's like, you know, these games that go really fast, especially, I'd really just love to play them out just to kind of see, like, I guess maybe they didn't have anything, they left the building, but I like to give the opponents the benefit of the doubt as well. So you never know, they might have froze. Definitely happens. It's happened to us on video multiple times where we just freeze and we have to restart the game. Sometimes we get back in, sometimes we don't. Either way, our lineup was crazy, bro. We go first. I keep this. Man, I am really pleased with how this is playing out so far. I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but it's great to see, like, you put together a rotation-proof list and then it's still doing good in the current meta and stuff, or at least relatively decent. That's all we need is relatively decent. Get rid of the Great Train Heist. Okay. Rundvelt or Codebreaker? Codebreaker's more damage for the turn right now. But then we... Yeah, that's fine. Totally fine. With our 3rd mana, get the Rundvelt down. We're up against discard, then Free from Flesh is an alright discard. I think I'd rather keep the Mountain in case we see like a Squee or something off the top, because Squee's going to be... Yeah, Squee's pretty important, I'd say. When you see the Squee, you like to play the Squee. Golgari, Liberator? What on earth? Well, they know we have the Free from Flesh, so... Well, they know everything that's in our hand except for our top deck. I think they probably just let a lot of this go through. Do we still take the combat trick, though? I guess they block Codebreaker there. So we buff Lackey, then Prowess gets around the block. So 4 gets through. I feel like this isn't the type of deck that runs board wipes. Probably just more beautiful blockers will come down. So we're definitely going to need to see more than the mountains. Yeah, the oil on the Lackey doesn't do anything, but that's perfect example. Like, Free from Flesh is in here for a combat trick. Combat trick works well with pretty much everything, even if we don't need those extra oil counters. So there's other better combat tricks you could have in here, but then it won't fit the oil theme. And like the extra Fuseling damage and everything's so sick. Oh, Honest Rutstein. They bring the Liberator back to hand. More mana off the top is terrible for us. That's really, really bad. The Rutstein trade, they might take this damage. They don't know what's in hand. We could full swing. They might block Hordemaster. They might not. Hordemaster might find us a Goblin off the top. They don't know what's in hand. I'm going for this full swing. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. We could start falling behind here with all this extra flood. Like, if we don't pull something off... Yeah, we could start falling behind pretty fast. I'm thinking about that Lackey's ability. Oh no, they call our bluff. Crap. Okay. It's still good damage. Let's see what we see off the top with the Hordemaster. Okay, it was Lightning Strike. Oh, crap, dude. All right, we'll keep the Lackey's ability open. Play a Mountain. And just see what happens, I suppose. Switches to nighttime. That's not good. That's really not good. 4th mana is a tapped land. Giving them some life back up to 8. Liberator. Just 1 mana because of that Honest Rutstein. That's terrifying, dude. Okay. They don't swing. What do you guys suppose? Lackey's ability? I mean, we don't have a swing with the Lackey anyways. Extra treasure we don't need, but the card draw. Okay, Codebreaker. Okay. Yes. Okay, that's something. Codebreaker is definitely something. So if we play Codebreaker, we full swing. They have 2 blocks. Monstrous Rage helps push 1 through. So what we want is we want to just actually reestablish our hand with the Codebreaker's ability here. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 open. When it is 6 mana, we have 2 in the grave. We'll have 3 with the Monstrous Rage. So we start with the swing, and it won't have haste if we don't flip it. So I guess if we flip it first. This is tough decisions, man. 1 second, opponent. I am pondering, my friend. So if we play Codebreaker first and then flip it for 4, we won't have the monsters. So we'd play Codebreaker face down, play the Monstrous Rage on the first Codebreaker. That doesn't do anything. But then we get to flip the other Codebreaker. So we start with the swing. That's what we do. Right? Right? I don't know. I took the extra time to think about it, so hopefully we're fine here. Here's a problem, too. Swamp and Forest open for the opponent and Golgari colors. Yeah, I don't think this Codebreaker makes it out of this regardless, but we'll see, we'll see. At least when we get this face down, it'll have that ward. This is another Monstrous Rage hitting the grave, so the Codebreaker's disguise cost would be 3. So we play it for 3. And then we have... Wait. We play it for 3, then we have the 3? Wait. Did I still do it wrong? Oh, I only have 2. Oh, crap, guys. Oh, crap. I still did it wrong. Oh, no. Okay, come on. Face down card. Survive the turn. Come on. Acklazotes, we're alive. And they go for that swing. We go no blocks for sure. The cut down fizzling out the Monstrous Rage was pretty bad. If I would have saved the Monstrous Rage for a better swing, maybe. Ooh, Cacophony Scamp. Well, either way, we discard the hand, then draw 3 when we flip this. So we start by playing the Scamp because we might see 3 mountains off the top, honestly. Turn this face up for 3. 1, 2, 3, Hordemaster, and a mountain. All right, we can play everything from our hand, but we're in big trouble. Acklazote's life gain is going to be way too much for us to deal with. Reckless Lackey. Pretty sick, though. Lots of ways to keep our hand nice and stocked up. Lots of different ways. That second Codebreaker draw was actually just really good for us. No attacks, and we are very likely out of this game. I can't imagine getting around that Acklazotes. Go for the swing. If we can... Nah, there's... I don't know what we could see. But I don't think there's going to be a way around that. They're back up to 12. Do they keep 3 blockers on the ground? Sheoldred. Bro. Okay, well, it's Scamp for sure. And then pop the Honest Rutstein. Be a Goblin off the Hordemaster, maybe? I guess the Honest Rutstein, right? What was it off the top? A mountain. That's good. Get that out of here. We don't want to draw that. Okay, the opponent's Golgari list looks terrifying, dude. Just Golgari mid-range, I guess, with all these extra creatures and stuff. Monstrous Rage is a pretty good draw. All right, let's see what happens. Like I said, I think we're significantly out of this game. We'll go for the swing. They go for the chump on the Lackey. They go for the block on the Codebreaker. It does trade. Chump on Lackey. Codebreaker buff. The Codebreaker gets more damage through. But we'll lose the trample with the monstrous. I guess just more damage is fine. That's fine. See what we end up seeing on the top here. This is actually 6 damage getting through. And maximize damage. See, we lose the monstrous roll, which was the big reason that I was thinking there. Witchstalker Frenzy was the exile off the Hordemaster. Dude, Witchstalker Frenzy would have been so good. Oh no. Oh no, guys. I'll tell you what, with that Menacing Sheoldred, the Acklazotes, I'm assuming this is going to be a full swing of a turn. They also have the Dream Thief to draw first if they want. Oh, they activate this before they swing with it. For each destroy... Okay, so they get to target the Hordemaster. Yeah, you know what? It's I've been saying it like this whole match, but we're almost dead anyway, so we might as well just do the most reckless things imaginable. Cacophony Scamp, Fugitive Codebreaker off the draw, and another Goblin. Oh, another Goblin! Dude, holy cow! Holy cow! I guess when it works out, it works out. Oh, the discard. The discard. No. My soul, opponent. How could you? Hey, Witchstalker friends. The roller coaster of emotions that I am on right now. Hilarious, dude. Dude, this Codebreaker could have been huge. That's my fault, though, for drawing. No. I wanted to draw before the Hordemaster left so I could get that ability twice. So, I mean, yeah, that was my fault regardless, but... Okay. So, Scamp. What's next turn? Each opponent discards 3 cards, mills 3 cards. So we want to do Witchstalker Frenzy before we discard it, but then they just activate the Acklazote's ability, bring it back tapped anyways. So really, really sticky situations actually that we're getting ourselves into. Switches back to daytime. So we would have discarded 3. We milled 3. Fuseling. And more land. We didn't need that land, that's for sure. Activate Temple of the Dead. Get that Acklazotes back into action. Keep the Liberator as a blocker. Goes back tonight. Hold up. Flamestoker. Gotta finish my sentences. Getting excited here. I actually don't have the mana for the Flamestoker, unfortunately. We had so much mana that I just got so excited. I thought we were about to restock our hand here, but no. So if we go for the full swing, not a lot happens since it is night. Like we can't trade into the Liberator or anything. And next turn, True Scriptures. They get every creature from the graveyard and slam it onto the battlefield. Really neat deck opponent. Really neat Golgari list. Yeah, it was quite the roller coaster for me. So cool stuff. Oh, buddy, look at all those hasty creatures. All right, bring it on, opponent. Bring it on. These Cacophony Scamps will carry me to victory. This one Cacophony Scamp will carry me to victory. Actually, we get to poke the tiny bones here. Fuseling gets a buff. This is really funny, man. Okay. So the extra Acklazotes life gain. How much did they gain off of this, guys? Did they gain 12 total? Also, I gotta make sure to drop the good game. It was a very good game. Had a good time with that. Guys, 6 games played. We got the deck win rate back down to a 50%, which is about what I would imagine it to be at, especially before rotation with a rotation-proof list. I mean, it might even go lower than that, but I'll tell you what, it played out really nicely overall. Okay. About 42 minutes in, I think we do have time for one more fast one before we go over the list. Like, we could keep it at the 50%. But win or lose here, I'm pretty satisfied. Yeah, I was going to call that one the last one, but I looked over, saw that we're only 42 in, and the games have been pretty fast, so... Only 1 mana. Is this... Do I learn from my past mistakes? Or do I just dive in? Alright, here it is, guys. The game that proves that earlier we should have just seen the 2nd mana sooner than when we did actually see it. I'm gonna get the Fuseling down because we don't know if we're gonna go for a free from flesh early on here or not. Mana off the top and double Scamp would be amazing. Even if it's not mana off the top. It is! It's mana off the top! Let's go! Okay. Now what? Double Scamp. Swing first, though. Double Scamp. Boop, boop. Against Orzhov, I hope it's tapped land and maybe we won't run into removal from the opponent. They might miss a cut down, for example. Open mana. Actually, this Soul Search. No, my Monstrous Rage. Oh, it's a non-land card. I guess, yeah, it's Monstrous Rage, probably. They don't want us to buff the Scamp. Ooh. Since it's an exile, they actually hit the Squee. Not bad, opponent. Not bad. So if we go... Okay, so we have the full swing, first of all. So that's what we end up doing. We have 1, 2, 3. If we go Monstrous Rage onto a Scamp, that's another 3 damage. That's 6 damage. If we sacrifice that Scamp, that's another 4. That's 10. Free from Flesh is an extra 2. Then an extra 3. Dude, let's just do it. Let's go for it, man. I guess actually it would be a little bit more damage if we do Fuseling, because that brings it to 5. 1, 2, 3. And then we only have to sacrifice 1 Scamp for the 4. Which one's which? Which one's which? The bottom one's the 4/2. Okay. Proliferate. The death happens. 4 gets through. Opponent goes down to 5. Okay, okay. That was pretty sick. So, if we would have put the Free from Flesh on the Scamp, it would have been an extra 2, then an extra 3. But we would have lost 2 Scamps. Oh, temporary lockdown. That's pretty good for the opponent. This is pretty good too, though. Scamp into Fuseling. Unfortunately, the tiny bit of board wipe, that's really going to matter for the opponent, because if they took the whole turn to only remove 1 creature and we still had a swing, man, that was a really cool swing from us, but it was very, very greedy. Lackey. With 4 open, this is a Wandering Emperor, right? There's a card I won't miss from rotation, since we were talking about it. Alright, Lackey. And the exile is the Scamp for sure. And the exile gives them +2 as well, so we effectively just don't do anything for the turn. They gain 2, they exile the Scamp. Wandering Emperor establishes itself, can start getting chump blockers. It might not be Wandering Emperor. They're kind of looking at our creatures. Might be something else going on here. Getting Orzhov. Wandering Emperor, how dare. Alright, it's Scamp though, right? I think so.
You're just underwhelming.
Because if they go -2 anywhere else, we can sacrifice Scamp, then poke the Emperor. That would be really good for us. To go back up to 7, back down to 5. Wandering Emperor could generate a token. We're going to have a really hard time getting this last 5 through. That's for sure. Soul Search is a card to kind of keep an eye on. This is kind of neat. It's kind of neat. Especially for what Orzhov is doing. And since we're seeing like a lot of discard decks too. Although this exiles, this doesn't have the opponent discard, so it really depends. Oh, Urabrask's Forge could be huge against Orzhov, but we don't have the 3rd mana for it quite yet. With the first strike here, at this point, anything that actually buffed our creatures would have been better. But yeah, Forge isn't bad. No attacks. We would just end up losing a creature, and it's not worth it. And it would be Fusing, I would assume. So Wandering Emperor number 2 would be devastating, I would say. That would really, really help them start to pull this back. And I think they can easily pull this back. So the risky swing with the Scamp, I'm glad we did it, because temporary lockdown came down next turn. The problem is, I guess I should have just plugged the +2 onto the Scamp instead of the Fusing. And sacrificed both Scamps anyways. Both Scamps would have buffed the Fuseling's oil for the next turn. Lockdown would have hit 1 less creature. That's tough though. That's because we got them down to 5. How much extra damage would that have been? Dude, let's go. Mountain off the top. No blue source from the opponent. Let's get that Forge down and get this ball rolling. They are back up to 8 though from the life gain. So if we swing, the trade happens. We get 1 through. If we wait, they could just spot remove the Fusing anyways. So I guess the trade is more optimal for us since there's so much removal packed into Orzhov. So it could have been the go for the throat without the swing regardless. But now they do have the block into the 1/1. Forge is just going to be so good here. If they don't find removal for it, then every single turn we just get a bigger trampling threat. That packed onto anything that we could see off the top that could potentially buff that. Oh, but more lifelink on the Sorin as well. Now, unlike the Wandering Emperor, Soren's actually one that I've never minded. I actually just really like this as a Planeswalker. Just, like, really solid, you know? Hordemaster, pretty much anything that we can play isn't bad. No swing because they have a block into the Vampire, and then they just gain 2, go up to 10. Yeah, not until it trades into the Vampire is that going to be worthwhile for us.
Dire times call for dire tactics.
Suit of the Empire off the top with the Sorin. Aclazo, it's not again, bro. So the Forge is 1 turn behind their incredible lifelink creatures. Oh, Witchstalker Frenzy. Okay, that takes care of the Aclazotes. Now we're able to actually take care of Sorin too then. So we swing here, swing there. Poke the Aclazotes. Wait a minute. Why did I swing with Hordemaster? I'm sorry, guys. I'm not thinking at all. Now they have a great block. Oh, okay. They decide to save their Sorin anyways. Okay, it worked out. It worked out. So we got the 1 through. I personally, I don't think I would have risked that swing with the Hordemaster. I don't know what I was thinking there. We had enough mana for a 3 mana Frenzy. Go ahead, bring back the Aclazotes. Now at this point, we're going to have to... They're going to keep both blockers, I bet. What do you guys think? No, they go for the swing. At this point, what could we see? Ooh, Monstrous Rage. All right, all right. Dude, all the extra life gain from the opponent, that was so significant. Oh, they have some spot removal here too for the 4-1. Maybe not. I'm going to go for it. Full swing, buff the Hordemaster. If it trades, we might see a Goblin off the top. They might just block the 4-1 to take less damage. What's been really fun about this deck is actually just seeing how incredibly explosive it can be. It does look like more spot removal. They're going to accept... Oh, they don't accept the trade. They're just going to take the 4 back down to 7. They have 8 on the board. They're going to go back up to 15, unfortunately. And since the Hordemaster died, what did we exile? Oh, it was a mountain. Sorin number 2. Dude, GG opponent. That's a full swing if I've ever seen one. And at that point, we die on the turn after this one. Okay, well, overall, you know, again, I kind of just sound like a broken record. I just feel like it totally did a thing today, didn't it? I liked it. A negative win rate overall. I'm still just kind of satisfied. I don't know. It's one of those things. Get that swing, see if they block. Lightning Strike could always hit the Vampire. They might not block here, though. They do go for the block. The Trample gets through regardless. They gain an extra 2. Lightning Strike still hits face. Okay, they do end up taking the 5, actually. Oh, they have spot removal. Oh my goodness, dude. The opponent's deck list looks incredibly terrifying. Instead of hitting face, then, we'll take out that Sorin for fun. Drop them the GG. Let them swing on in. Yeah, I thought this Forge was going to go a long way, but they just pooped lifelink creatures onto the board, and they did it really successfully too. Aclazotes being an absolute menace to this deck list today. Witchstalker Frenzy coming in handy both times, but just not being enough just to clear that off the board. 42% win rate. Well, I guess I should have quit while I was ahead. Nah, overall, pretty fun list to run. And honestly, if you end up playing a rotation-proof list before rotation, then I can only imagine it's going to go into the negative because we're losing so many cards that are already established in the meta, and a lot of those cards are pretty darn important in the meta too. So I don't know. It really depends, huh? All right, guys, here's the deck list again. Rotation-proof Goblins. Yes, we are losing. Midnight Hunt, Crimson Vow, Neon Dynasty, Streets of New Capenna. So the deck runs none of that. The weirdest one for sure is the Crucible of Defiance. Not having that in here feels super weird, especially when, even when you're running one of them, feels like you just kind of see it every game, or at the very least every other game. having that extra utility option. Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss Crucible of Defiance. All right. Outside of that, what else do we got? What do we got to talk about here? Free from Flesh and Monstrous Rage, like all the extra combat tricks. Combat tricks are actually pretty decent overall, and there's a lot of moments where you can really get the opponent with these little tricks. And when you have combat tricks in a deck with prowess creatures like Codebreaker, then it really starts to just lean into your favor when you drop a Monstrous Rage onto another creature, and then your prowess Codebreaker also gets that little bit of a buff too, all while you're buffing your other goblins with that Hordemaster. So many ways to restock our hand in this list. Flamestoker being a little bit too expensive to see off the top in the late game, but if you see this in the early game, then I think it's going to be really easy to get those extra oil counters on it from all of your other instants and sorceries. But mainly, like, yeah, if you use a Free from Flesh on it, getting those, you get 2 oil counters from Free from Flesh and then an oil counter from the Flamestoker. That's 3 in 1. Flamestoker gets pretty cheap pretty fast. The whole deck really knows how to just dump the hand onto the board, so like that whole discard, then draw 4, not too concerned about the discard. Same concept with the Codebreaker. Codebreaker being a 3-mana card, I guess, is going to happen every now and then. You flip it up for Disguise, and it's going to be pretty easy to flip for Disguise because our graveyard gets pretty stacked with these instants and sorceries. Just another way, and then discard your hand, draw 3 cards, right? And then Hordemaster exiling off the top. You're hitting goblins often, actually. We have 22 goblins in here. So over a third of the deck, a third of the time, you're going to be hitting off a Hordemaster, hopefully. That's actually a good amount of times. Urabrask Forge, we didn't get to plug any extra oil on it with the Facade. I still think the 1 of Facade is going to be good, and I still think the double Forge is going to be good too, but maybe drop this down to 1, go up another Squee, because Squee's probably a little bit more important to fit the Goblin theme. Witchstalker Frenzy, I wouldn't drop those at all. Great Train Heist, one of these days, buddy. You'll do the thing. In a deck like this that knows how to just dump a whole bunch of 1-drop goblins onto the board, I think Great Train Heist is going to be okay as the 1 of, but I could also see trading this out for something else. 19 total mana felt like enough. 2 of those games we ended up keeping a hand with just 1, and that's going to happen sometimes when you're running 19, but overall, I don't think we want more, and I definitely don't think we want less. That would be something to talk about, though, had we played more games. Now, I feel like the 19 land felt pretty good, didn't it? Okay, guys, let me know what you thought of the deck list down in the comments. Let me know, should I have just gone the whole Goblin Pirate route with artifacts instead? Maybe. Maybe we'll have to revisit this, a second rotation-proof Goblins list, or maybe we'll revisit Goblins when the next set comes out, rotation happens, and maybe that's how we'll put Goblins together. It really depends. I really liked this oil theme, though. Fuseling's actually pretty good, isn't it? I like it. The problem with Fuseling and Scamp, of course, is they don't have Haste, and Haste happens to be very important, which Reckless Lackey showed us. The Reckless Lackey ability actually came in handy today, too. That was pretty cool. Although we don't need like the extra ramp with the treasure tokens or anything, like the extra draw and everything, and then the death of a goblin means Hordemaster gets to see more off the top, too, so it's really neat synergies packed in. Okay, guys. I forget if I brought up the Patreon and everything in the middle of the video, but definitely check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. I forget if I brought it up in the middle or not. Either way, hey, I will see you in the next video.